My parents forced me to drop out of Harvard because my sister, the golden child, didn't get accepted. I refused, so they kicked me out. Years later, when my mom was diagnosed with cancer, she came begging for free surgery. I just said, ask your golden child. The acceptance letter was still in my hand when Dad told me I wasn't going. I was standing in the kitchen, spring afternoon, late April, sun coming through the window over the sink, the Harvard seal embossed at the top of the thick cream paper, crimson border, my name in bold black type. Congratulations. My fingers were shaking. You're not going, he said again. Mom stood behind him, arms crossed over her chest. Her face was hard, set, like stone. I blinked. What? You heard me. You're not going to Harvard. Why? My voice came out quiet, small, barely above a whisper. Because your sister didn't get in. I looked at both of them, waiting for the punchline, waiting for them to smile and laugh and say they were kidding. April Fools, even though it was late April. Congratulations. We're so proud of you. They didn't smile. They didn't laugh. Their faces were serious. Final. Emma worked just as hard as you, Mom said. Her voice was cold, clipped. Final. It's not fair that you get to go to Harvard and she doesn't. It would destroy her. Absolutely destroy her. Hurt her too much. You know how sensitive she is, how she compares herself to you. So I have to. What? Not go? Turn it down? Decline? You can go to state, Dad said, like it was reasonable, like it was a fair compromise. Same as Emma. You'll both start together in the fall, as a family, support each other. Room together, even. It'll be good for both of you. I stared at the letter in my hands. The letter I'd been waiting for since freshman year. The letter that represented 4 years of relentless work, 4 years of perfect grades, 4 gigapascals unweighted, 4.7 weighted, taking every single AP class the school offered, studying until 2 a.m. every night, flashcards at breakfast, review sessions during lunch, working on weekends while Emma went to parties, to football games, to the mall with friends, debate team captain. 3 years, 1 state championships 2 years in a row, nationals qualifier, volunteer work at the county hospital, 200 hours, every Saturday morning for 2 years, watching surgeries, shadowing doctors. The college essay I rewrote 23 times until every word was perfect, until my English teacher cried reading it. Recommendation letters from teachers who called me once in a generation, SAT scores, 1,580, top percentile, all of it, everything, 4 years of sacrifice, in my hands. This letter. No, I said. Dad's jaw tightened. His hands curled into fists at his sides. Excuse me? I said no, I'm going to Harvard. The silence in the kitchen felt thick, heavy, suffocating, like the air before a violent storm. Mom took a step forward. Her voice dropped. Dangerous, threatening. If you go, you're on your own, completely on your own. We won't pay a single cent, not tuition, not room and board, not books, not food. Nothing. I have scholarships, full financial aid package. We won't help you with anything, she interrupted sharply. Not health insurance, not a phone plan, not emergency money, not travel home, not anything. You walk out that door to go to that school. You're not our son anymore. Do you understand? You're choosing Harvard over your family. The words hit like a physical slap. I looked at her, really looked at her, at the woman who'd raised me, who'd read me bedtime stories when I was little, who'd taught me to ride a bike, who'd kissed my scraped knees, who'd celebrated my first A+. Then, at Dad, at the man who'd taken me to baseball games, who'd taught me to throw a spiral, who'd helped me with math homework at the kitchen table, who'd said he was proud of me. Then at Emma, standing in the doorway behind them, watching this unfold, silent. She was 17, a year younger than me. We'd applied to colleges at the same time. She'd applied to Harvard too, and Yale, and Princeton, and Stanford, got rejected from all of them, got into state, safety school, the place everyone got into. She didn't say anything now, didn't defend me, didn't tell them this was insane, didn't tell them to let me go. She just stood there, arms wrapped around herself, looking at the floor, not meeting my eyes. Fine, I said. Mom's eyes went wide, like she hadn't expected that, like she thought I'd cave, thought I'd cry, thought I'd choose them. Fine, Dad repeated, voice rising. If that's how it is, if that's your choice, fine, I'll do it on my own. You're making a huge mistake, Mom said. You're throwing away your family for a school, for prestige, for ego. I'm not throwing anything away. You are. Don't you dare. You're the ones giving me an ultimatum. Not me. You're the ones choosing Emma over me. Again. That's not fair, Emma started. Her first words. Weak. Defensive. Isn't it? I looked at her. How many times have they chosen you? How many times have I had to give up something because you'd be jealous? Because you'd feel bad? She didn't answer. When I made all-state debate, they didn't come to the ceremony because it was your choir concert, I said. When I won the science fair, we couldn't celebrate because you'd lost your soccer game. When I got a scholarship interview, I had to skip it because it was your birthday weekend. That's different, Mom started. Is it? It's always been different. It's always been about protecting Emma, about making sure Emma doesn't feel less than, even when I worked harder, even when I earned it. I walked past them, past past Emma, shoulder brushing hers, up the stairs to my room, the room I'd lived in for 18 years. I packed that night, everything I owned, clothes folded into 2 duffel bags, books in boxes, laptop in my backpack, important documents, birth certificate, social security card, passport in a folder, the acceptance letter carefully placed in a plastic sleeve. They didn't stop me, didn't come upstairs, didn't knock on my door. I heard them downstairs, talking in low voices, Emma crying, Mom consoling her, telling her it wasn't her fault, that I was being selfish, that I'd come back, that I'd apologize. I slept on the floor that night, bags packed beside me, ready, set my alarm for 5 a.m., left at dawn. Before they woke up, caught a Greyhound bus to Cambridge for admitted students' weekend, used money I'd saved from birthday gifts and a summer job, didn't leave a note, didn't say goodbye. I went to Harvard, that fall on scholarships and loans, full financial aid package, but it wasn't enough. It was never enough. Tuition covered, room and board covered, but books cost $1,000 a semester, food beyond the meal plan, clothes, toiletries, medicine when I got sick, a winter coat because I only had one and it was falling apart. I worked 3 jobs, dining hall during breakfast and lunch shifts, library on Tuesday and Thursday nights, tutoring rich prep school kids on weekends, $50 an hour, cash. I slept 4 hours a night, sometimes less. Sometimes I'd fall asleep in the library and wake up at 3 a.m. with my face on a chemistry textbook, survived on coffee and vending machine snacks, ramen, granola bars, whatever I could afford. I didn't come home for Thanksgiving, couldn't afford the bus ticket, stayed in the dorm, worked extra shifts, ate sad dining hall turkey alone. I didn't come home for Christmas, same reason, stayed in the nearly empty dorm, watched snowfall, worked, studied. They didn't call, didn't text, didn't send money or cards or care packages. Radio silence, complete silence, like I'd died. I checked Facebook once, saw photos of them at Thanksgiving, at Christmas, Emma smiling, opening presents, Mom and Dad hugging her, no empty chair, no mention of me, like I'd never existed. I deleted my Facebook account after that. I graduated pre-med, 4 years, magna cum laude, almost summa, top 5% of my class, Phi Beta Kappa, Golden Key, every honor society. I got into Johns Hopkins School of Medicine, top program in the country, full scholarship, MD divided by PhD program, 8 years total. Then, surgical residency, general surgery, 5 years, 80-hour weeks minimum, sometimes 100. Sometimes I worked 36 hours straight, slept in on-call rooms, lived on hospital coffee and vending machine food, again, then fellowship, surgical oncology, cancer surgery, 2 more years, specialized in pancreatic and liver cancers, the hard ones, the ones most surgeons wouldn't touch, 12 years total, from college graduation to attending physician, 12 years of brutal, relentless work, of sacrifice, of proving myself, of becoming the best. I became one of the top cancer surgeons on the East Coast, published over 40 papers, speaking engagements at conferences worldwide, patients flying in from California, from Texas, from abroad. I didn't tell my parents, didn't send announcements, didn't invite them to my medical school graduation, my white coat ceremony, my wedding to another surgeon I met during residency, anything. I changed my phone number, moved across states, built a life they knew nothing about. Emma dropped out of state her sophomore year. I heard through a distant cousin who didn't know we weren't speaking. She'd failed most of her classes, stopped going, stopped trying, never finished. Last I heard, years later, through the same cousin, she was working retail at Target, still living at home, 31 years old, no degree, no career, no independence. I didn't care, didn't think about her, about any of them, boxed it away, moved on, built my own family, my own life, until one Tuesday morning, 12 years after I'd walked out, my office phone rang, my secretary's voice through the intercom, professional, careful. Dr. Peterson, you have a call on line 2. It's someone claiming to be your mother. I stared at the blinking light. Line 2, flashing red, insistent. I hadn't spoken to her in over a decade. My hand hovered over the button. I should hang up, should refuse the call, should tell my secretary to say I'm unavailable, in surgery, busy, but something made me pick up. Curiosity, disbelief, something. Hello? Sweetheart. Her voice cracked, older, weaker, unfamiliar. It's Mom. I didn't answer, just listened to her breathing, to the silence stretching between us. 12 years of silence. I need to talk to you. It's important. Can we meet, please? I'm in Baltimore. I can come to you. Why? Not a question, a demand. She hesitated. I'm sick. 2 days later, she came to my office. Johns Hopkins Hospital, Department of Surgical Oncology, Weinberg Building, building, 5th floor, corner office with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the Baltimore skyline. My name on the door, Dr. Michael Peterson, MD, PhD, surgical oncology. Dad came with her, both of them so much older, unrecognizable almost. Mom's hair was thin, gray, brittle. Her hands shook when she sat down in the chair across from my desk. Dad looked smaller, hunched, his face deeply lined, worn, aged 20 years in 12. I stayed behind my desk, white coat crisp and clean, stethoscope around my neck, professional, cold, clinical. Stage 3, she said quietly, looking at her hands, wringing them, not at me. Pancreatic cancer. They found it 2 weeks ago after I went to the ER with pain. They did scans, biopsy. It's confirmed. They said I need surgery. Soon. Very soon, or it'll spread. I nodded, pulled out a notepad, took notes, clinical notes, diagnosis, stage, timing, kept my face blank, expressionless. The surgeon they referred me to Dr. Williams at University of Maryland Medical Center. His schedule is backed up, months out. They said the wait could be dangerous. But you, she finally looked up at me. Her eyes were red, wet, pleading. You do this. Pancreatic cancer. You specialize in it. We looked you up. Read about you. You could do the surgery. You could save me. I set my pen down carefully, deliberately. You're one of the best in the country, Dad added. His voice was hoarse, desperate. Maybe the best. Everyone says so. Your success rates, your publications, please. We're begging you. I leaned back in my chair, leather creaking. The office was quiet, just the hum of the air conditioning, the distant sound of a page over the hospital intercom. Doctor? Chen to the ICU. You want me to operate on you, I said. Flat, emotionless, clinical. Please. Mom's voice broke completely, shattering. I know we haven't talked. I know things ended badly, but you're my son. You're a doctor. You save people. That's what you do. That's your oath. Your calling. Please. I looked at her, really looked at her, studied her. The woman who told me I wasn't her son anymore if I walked out the door 12 years ago. The woman who chose Emma over me, who demanded I sacrifice my future, Harvard, my dreams, everything for her golden child, who cut me off completely when I refused. How's Emma? I asked. Mom blinked, confused. What? Emma, your other child, your golden child, the one I gave up Harvard for. How is she doing? Dad's face darkened, reddened. That's not relevant. No, I said. My voice was calm, steady, surgical, sharp. I want to know. Did she become a doctor? Did she graduate college? Did she become anything? Accomplish anything? Mom's hands twisted in her lap, wringing, shaking. She didn't answer. She's working, Dad said. Defensive. She has a job. Doing what? Silence. She's working retail, I said, answering my own question. Target, I heard. Living at home still. 31 years old. Dropped out of state after a year and a half. Never finished her degree. Never did anything. Right? Mom's eyes filled with tears. She's going through things. Things, I repeated. And I went through medical school. And residency. And fellowship, while working 3 jobs, while living on 4 hours of sleep, while eating vending machine food because I couldn't afford real meals, while you didn't call me once, didn't check if I was alive, didn't care. We thought, Dad started. You thought I'd come crawling back. You thought I'd fail. You thought I'd apologize. You thought you were teaching me a lesson. I stood up, walked to the door, opened it wide. I think you should ask Emma to help you, I said. Mom's face went white, completely white, bloodless. You can't be serious. Michael, please, you told me I wasn't your son. You meant it. For 12 years, you meant it. You didn't call, didn't write, didn't acknowledge my existence. So go ask your real child for help, your golden child, the one you chose. Please. Her voice broke. She started to stand, legs shaking, barely able to support herself. Dad caught her arm. I have other patients, I said. People who didn't throw me away when I chose my own future. People who didn't give me an ultimatum. People who didn't erase me from their lives. Dad stood. His face was red now, furious. You'd let your own mother die? What kind of doctor are you? What kind of person? I met his eyes, held his gaze, steady, unflinching. You let your own son go, I said. You cut me off completely. Told me I was dead to you, unless I gave up my dreams for Emma. What kind of father does that? That's different, is it? How? He had no answer, just stood there, mouth opening, closing. Get out, I said. Mom started crying, sobbing, full breakdown. Please. I'm begging you. I'll apologize. I'll do anything. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Just please, save me. I'm your mother. Did you apologize 12 years ago? I asked. Did you call me? Did you check if I was alive? If I was okay? If I had food? If I had money for medicine when I got sick? Did you care at all? Silence. Just her sobbing. No, I answered for her. You didn't. Because you chose Emma. You chose her over me. So go ask Emma to save you now. Dad grabbed Mom's arm, pulled her up from the chair. She could barely stand, legs buckling, leaning heavily on him. They walked toward the door, slow, shuffling, broken. Mom's sobs echoing off the walls. They stopped at the doorway. In the threshold, Dad turned back. One last try. You're a monster, he said, voice shaking with rage and desperation. I learned from the best, I replied. They walked past me, into the hallway, down toward the elevators, Mom's cries fading. I watched them go, watched until they disappeared around the corner. Then I closed the door, walked back to my desk, sat down in my chair, picked up my pen, and went back to work.